Okay.
We're here.
Again, Podcast 8, June 26, 2014, from the TAR studio in actually a great day. I'd say sunny Las Vegas, but it was like when I got here, it was 88 degrees, which is a nice deal for Las Vegas. And sure.
I got up this morning. What's that stuff in the sky?
Yeah, it looked a little cloudy.
I haven't seen that for weeks.
Well, that's cool. Yeah.
Yep.
The big news is the World Championships in Doha, Qatar.
Hey, before we get going,
okay,
I just want to give everybody a quick introduction of the things we're going to cover tonight.
Okay.
And then we'll get going.
Sure.
First, we're going to start off with some industry news. Then we're going to do some selfish plugs, CSI news. Then we're going to talk about the new league posters that we just put out, thanks to Mr. Justin. And then we've got a brand new segment, folks. I don't want you to miss this one. I don't want you to miss this new segment.
Brian Russell, you're in trouble.
And hopefully, I think Mark's going to give us enough material we can continue this. It's called Griffin isms, so I don't want you to miss that. And then followed up at the end by questions from AZ Billiards, Facebook, etc.
It's really sad when he has to, do such heavy research for filler for a podcast.
It wasn't very heavy. It was just you give me too much material to ignore more.
That's cool. Yeah, that comes when you get really old. You say things.
How would you know? You're in the prime of your life.
Yeah, I realize that. So,
industry news. World Nineball Championships.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Mr. Shane is not going to be this year's World Championship. He's doing quite well. He got it 5th place, and he was the best American by far.
He was, and actually, that's not very surprising.
No.
What we're talking about, folks, is the 2014 World Nineball Championships, Doha, Qatar, June 26th through the 27th. Ends tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Winner, $30,000. Runner-up gets $15,000. Total prize fund, $200K.
And that's down. I think the highest it ever was $400,000. There's quite a history, actually, on 10-ball versus 9-ball. 10-ball has only been a recognized game since 2008 by the WPA. So I know there were some debates on, some people are saying, well, Shane was a world championship because of the one in Jacksonville, which is not recognized because the game wasn't recognized. Mm-hmm. And, Matchroom used to do the World 9-ball in the Philippines. I actually went to one of them, and it was up to $400,000. Allowing another game to come in and everything, I think it caused a little competition. And that's not necessarily a good thing because it gets too much going on, and then the economy tanked, and this and that. But I'm glad that it's in Doha. I understand they have a contract through 2015, I think it is. It was going to be a 5-year contract. I think this is the 2nd or 3rd year. This is the 14th.
Have you been there?
No. Actually, it's going to go. I think it's going to go through 17. So, yeah, people say the World Championship should be more, and I would agree. 30,000 is not there because we paid 15 or 20 for ours, and we're just a little local thing practically. But it's better than nothing. The technology they provided this time through Kazoo was just off the charts great, and that is going to help build the interest, and a lot of good things can come out of that.
I think kind of off topic. I think it's going to help and hurt at the same time. It'll help because it was terrific. It's terrific to be able to channel surf from table to table, and it happens like that. I mean, you don't go to a new page or anything.
And including the chat.
Including the chat. Yeah. I tell you, though, the way it hurts, though, is people will look at that and assume, well, it's easy to provide. They provided it. Why didn't you provide it?
And they provide it for free. And
your stream doesn't have that, so I'm not going to watch it, even though it's free.
They have a fortune in time, money, and energy developing their systems. We've met with the Kazoo people. They're great people. Their model is a subscription model, and it's mostly billiards, and then they started doing a lot of the EPBF, which is the European Pro Tour organization. And I'm not even sure if they're doing those anymore because those are no longer on TV. They're whatever channel. It's not like ESPN. Their TV structure is so different than ours. I don't even know what it was on, but it's unfortunate. But again, $200,000 is still a lot of money. There's no entry fee. You have to qualify, and that's the way it is.
Yep.
But it was some great pool, and everybody could watch it. They were happy with their numbers. They made them public on the stream, so I'll repeat them. And they were approximately 12,500, and I assume that's new subscribers because the old. But maybe it means the members also. But And that's good for a stream, but it's bad when you think it's worldwide.
Yeah.
That's just not very many people.
Yep, I agree. The one thing I noticed is we have 16 players playing in our upcoming CSI Invitationals. 14 of those 16 were competing in this event.
That's good. How'd
That's
they
great.
do?
That's great. 10 of those advanced to the final 64.
Okay, that's good too.
Shane made it the furthest. He finished 5th.
Yeah.
Sadly, he got beat today 11-8.
Yeah, and I heard, I didn't get to watch it. You told me he was down like 10-5. You're in trouble
10-4, 10-5, something like that.
when you're racing to 11.
Yeah, alternating
You're
break.
just alternating break.
Yeah.
And alternating break, it's designed to make close matches. It's also designed where you got to come out of the chute pretty fast because you can't.
Well, if you
and
get behind, it's tough.
Shane's game is a rhythm game. He likes that winter break, so he'll throw a 10-pack at you.
Yep.
But you can't do that in alternating breaks. I still have mixed feelings on them both. If you really, I understand you're trying to do this tournament they're trying to do, and I understand the purpose of alternating break. I probably have to say that's the way to go, but some of their first rounds, and maybe it was the qualifying, there were races to, did I see some races to 7 at the very beginning, and then it went to 9, there was races to 9, and then it was...
I thought they were 9 from the beginning,
and,
but I don't remember.
Yeah, and then there were races to 11. You got to do what you got to do. There's always a time limit and everything. It's an accepted standard, so I'm not going to say they got to change this or got to change that, so
Yep.
no biggie.
The only other thing that I noticed going on in the industry, and it's kind of a selfish plug, but our media manager, Justin Collett, did an interview with American Billiard Radio, and I thought it was a fantastic interview. He talked a little bit about CSI, and he talked a lot about the USA Moscone Cup team.
Yeah, Mr. Bond called me up the day of that afternoon and just asked me if I wanted to talk about my thoughts on the Moscone Cup and Mark Wilson and what they did. And we got, we talked long. He used more of it than I thought he would, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I listened to it. It was good. And it was long.
Yeah.
It was pretty thorough.
But it was cool. I put up the web address there.
Okay.
It was, what, 2 weeks ago? Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
It was right before our last podcast.
It was in there somewhere. And
Yep, it was 2 weeks ago.
Justin handled himself well, as usual. And Mr. Bond's trying to do a nice thing there, and they're getting some established, you know.
Yep. And for me, some segments that they have are easier to listen to than others.
Yeah.
But by and large, they do a terrific job. And I enjoyed Justin's interview. He doesn't hold anything back.
Yeah,
He
well,
tells you what he's thinking.
true.
But it was good. So wanted to give them a little plug, give Justin a plug. And I'm sure they'll be interviewing him again in the future.
Sure. Yeah, they're the official radio, I believe, of the Moscone Cup and some other stuff. And I want to reiterate that Justin mentioned it, and I think anybody that really has been watching what's going on is Mark Wilson is doing a terrific job with grooming the Moscone team. It's going to be interesting to see how he picks his 5 out of the 8. You know Shane's going to be there, so just because I think firepower and leadership and everything. So how are the other 4 going to get picked? I mean, that's going to be a tough little draw there, buddy.
You know, I said it in that interview, and I still believe. I think Mark will pick, you know, I just can't see him not picking Shane, mainly because Shane's going to do what Mark wants him to do in the first place, plus he's so strong. But I think he's going to look for the best team, you know. I mean,
The dynamics, yeah.
yeah.
Team
He's
dynamics.
going to look for I used in, you know, kind of an analogy that in the past the American team has been 5 fingers, it hasn't been a fist.
Correct.
And I think he's going to put the best team out there. So I'm looking forward to it.
And I really hope you're right.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the way it's done.
yeah, the attitude can win a lot. You know, I mean,
Well,
and a team dynamics. But I still, that European team is just double tough. I
Well,
mean,
you know,
even,
Justin said it very well in his interview that the team doesn't have to win. The team has to make us proud
correct.
of their performance and how they react to the pressure, how they behave themselves, and how they perform.
Yep.
That'll
Yeah, it's a
be
growth.
what tells the tale.
It's
And
a-
if they win, hey,
Oh, that's like
Awesome.
Yeah. It's
Awesome.
it's a growth project. It's a multi-year deal, and I expect, I mean, no inside information, no nothing. I expect Mark Wilson to do just like the European coach. You'll be talking, he'll be there 5, 6, 7 years from now. I think he's a permanent fixture.
that'd be good.
Yep.
We need stability.
I agree, and that's part of the plan too. I think so. That's good.
Yep.
And this year it's in like black Blackpool. No,
Yep, Blackpool.
Blackpool. And next year it'll be in Las Vegas, just because it alternates. So it'll probably be back at the Mandalay Bay. Previous years it was at the MGM, but last year was at Mandalay Bay. So,
Mirage.
Mirage. You know, one M. You know, I only
It's
live
all
here.
the same,
It's
right?
just an M. You know. It's big. It's a hotel. Starts with an M. I'm glad you're there to correct the editorial errors.
You correct my dates.
Yeah, okay.
I'll correct everything else.
Cool.
All right. All right, well, that's all the industry news, and I guess we'll do some selfish CSI promotion.
Plugs. Go.
All right.
What are we selling today?
Well, BCA Pool League, USA Pool League National Championships right around the corner, Mark.
Right around the corner.
You've
Mark.
been warning me, and it's so far a breeze.
Yeah.
I don't know what all the fuss is about,
Yeah.
really. It's just a small little tournament.
Yeah, we were kind of explaining some of the pitfalls of last year's event. Geez. In new venue, the hotel not understanding who we are, what we are, and us not understanding who and what they are. It's just different. I'm expecting it to go a lot better this year.
Yep. Entries are closed.
True.
So we're not going to try to sell any entries. The mail deadline closed on June 16th,
Okay.
a couple weeks ago. We did extend the online entry deadline an extra week because that's a much more streamlined process.
And it's been really accepted well.
Much more automatic.
Yeah, and our
so
online entries were much higher than last year's, previous years.
that worked out well, but that did end last Monday, June 23rd. So entries are closed, folks, except triple play.
Right.
The triple play is an option that you can enter 3 events at one time: the 9-ball challenge, 10-ball challenge, and Grandmaster 8-ball. $55 discount if you do the triple play. And that event, we can take on-site entries. We can do on-site entries for that. So if you missed the deadline, you still want to show up, catch all the great action, get in a couple events, you can do that on-site.
True.
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 That's all you have to say about that.
What else do you want me to say? I'm going to play and win them all anyhow. I don't know why. All you guys are wasting your time.
I got pool league stories about you coming up.
Oh, boy. Can hardly wait.
So I do want to reiterate to everybody, we do have VIP seats available. I
True.
20 or 22 seats left. And there they are.
Oh, good.
In
Yes.
the green are the seats that are available.
Now, the top one, the primary stream table, that's table number 1. That's,
Yep.
you know,
Now, just so everybody can see what's going on here, the primary stream table will have all the CSI Invitational matches, plus all 3 of those challenge matches that you see on your screen. When the challenge matches occur, seats 17 through 24, which are really around the secondary stream table, will be pulled around the back side of the primary table, and table 2, the secondary table, will be shut down. So what that means is tables 1 through 24, they are your prime seats. You're going to get front and center action
Okay.
for everything that's going on in the pro arena.
and you own the seat.
And that's
It's
your
seat.
seat. Your seat. Nobody else can take it unless you give it
Yeah,
to them.
yeah, and it's and there's not that many, obviously, as you can see. And along both sides of these 2 tables are bleachers, 6 tiers, 7 tiers,
5 or 6,
Yeah.
something like that.
and be 350 seats or something available for that.
Yep. And seats 25 through 40, they're not quite as prime as 1 through 24 because they're not going to be front and center for the 3 challenge matches. Therefore, they're a little bit lower price, and that's why they're the ones that are still available. The best seats are going quicker. So, for those seats, you can go to playcsipool.com to purchase your seat, but you're going to be front and center for the CSI Invitational 10-ball championship, 3 days of action, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. You're also going to be front and center for the CSI Invitational 8-ball championship. Same thing, 3 days, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., plus the 3 challenge matches that you see on your screen. The Kamui Challenge, Shane Van Boning versus Copigny. The OB Challenge, Corey Deuel, Mike DeShane, Scotch doubles matchup against Efren Reyes and Francisco Bustamante.
That's going to be awesome.
And then the final challenge match on July 22nd will be the Tiger Challenge, and that'll be Dennis Orcolo versus Junglin Chang.
Those are going to be some pretty cool matches.
Lots of awesome action if you purchase a VIP seat. And they, like I said, there's about, I don't know, 22 of those left.
Yeah. And then we also have the other event that's going on in the 9-foot tables, the American Rotation Finals. There's going to be 16 players, I believe. Joe Tucker's got that coming up. And that'll be a free stream on that match.
That'll be free right through our website, the same site that you're watching right now. I do want to mention one other thing about the VIP seats.
Okay.
Nice little bonus for people.
Okay.
Bill Dunsmore.
Oh, yes. Very true.
Okay. Bill Dunsmore, who...
he's been around forever. He's originally from up in the Boston area.
I didn't know he made cues, but he calls it Chicken Man Cues. And he contacted us a while back with a very generous offer. He made 2 cues that were they're really built to be commemorative cues for the 2 CSI Invitational events. He made those and said, hey, I don't want anything for them. I just want to give them to you. You can do whatever you want to with them. So what we decided to do is everybody that buys a VIP seat will automatically be entered into a drawing. And right before the finals of the CSI Invitational 10-ball, we're going to pick a winner.
Right.
And they will win the
10-ball
Invitational
stick.
10-ball.
And they are engraved on the butt for each individual 2 events.
And then right before the finals of the Invitational 8-ball, we'll pull the second winner for the 8-ball cue.
Yeah, it was a very generous offer.
Absolutely free. It's not a raffle. It's just if you buy a VIP seat, you'll be entered into that drawing. And hey, you got 1 in 20 chance.
Yeah.
Winning a cue.
It's good. And Bill's really a pretty decent guy. He's plays in their events every year, and he competed a lot in like the High Run Challenge, which we're not having this year. Just no time. And but he's a pretty good guy. He's been around forever. I mean, he's early 70s. I've known him for 30 years. He used to go to the Reno tournaments, and
I played him in the US Open 9-ball once.
Okay.
Ironic.
Good for you.
Coincidentally. A lot of people have asked about pay-per-view pricing.
Okay.
For all these things that we have going on. We finalized that. There's Justin's handiwork. This is our pay-per-view schedule and pricing for all the great stuff that we have going on. You can see the Kamui Challenge. That is Shane Van Boning versus Ko Pin Yi, 10-ball race to 21, $14.95. Immediately following that, July 18th through the 20th, 3 full days of action, 10 hours a day for $39.95 for that package. The OB Challenge, as we said, was Scott Stubble's matchup. Corey Deuel, Mike DeShane versus Efren Reyes and Francisco Bustamante, $14.95 for that match. The Tiger Challenge, Dennis Orcolo versus Junglin Chang, 9-ball race to 21, $14.95 for that match. Followed by the last pay-per-view event, which is a CSI Invitational. Actually, the 10-ball and 8-ball are reversed. The 8-ball is the last event, but that's $39.95 as well. Or you can get all of it, the whole kit and caboodle, $99.95.
And how many hours? We were talking about how many hours that was going to be. It was like 70 hours.
I'll let you add it up.
Well, I think we guesstimated around 70 hours of
it's a lot of pool for under $100.
If you figure 10 hours a day, each invitational is 3 days. That's 60 hours in the invitationals.
And
you figure 4 hours.
4 hours,
per,
so 72 hours. That's
yeah.
about. I think that's what we came up with, something like that.
Yep.
It comes out to about $1.30 an hour. Something like that.
And the stream, Justin, correct me if I'm wrong. That stream will, if you purchased it, it'll be looped.
It loops. Yeah, we're going to try, barring any technical stuff. We were able to do it last year. We'll loop it. We're starting at, if we say, I guess, 11 a.m. for the invitationals. We'll go to 11. Should be over about 9 o'clock local time. We'll run the loop until 10 a.m. the next morning, and then we'll take it down for an hour, and that allows us to move files around and make space on the drive and things like that, reboot everything, and get ready. So it may be 9:30, it may be 10. We'll just have to, that's one thing we'll find out when we get a little closer
so
to
folks, if you purchased a package, for example, and you have something to do during one of the challenge matches and you miss it, you can catch it later that night.
Sure. And keep in mind, if you're staying in the hotel, you get to watch the stream free in your hotel room.
Yep.
So you're just like you're a pay-per-view customer, and including the loop. So one of the advantages of staying on site, which if you do stay on site, make sure you use the code, which is
great segue.
Q.
I
You
got
weren't even looking at your notes.
I don't have notes. Who needs notes?
Right
There
there
it
you
is.
go.
SRQ4 is the real booking code. And that eliminates any resort fees, which I believe at the Rio, since we signed the contracts, all the Caesars or the Caesars properties went to a resort fee. I think it's $18 a night. So if you book on your own, you're going to get stuck for that. This eliminates that. It's $79, $129. The 79 can't be beat. The 129, it's a weekend. What are you going to do?
Hey,
Yeah.
129 for a weekend in Vegas at a good hotel
Yeah.
is a good deal.
Well, yeah. Plus you're beating the $18.
Unless you've got some kind of comp or you're
Yep.
on some kind of promo deal. If you're cold calling trying to find a room in Vegas on a weekend for one, it's good luck.
Yeah,
Well-
we do that at times when we have to find rooms. It's brutal.
Not
And-
only
and
that,
it's-
but these rooms aren't just
they're suites.
standard hotel. They're suites.
It's the name of the place is the Rio All Suite Hotel and Casino. It's right in their name. So.
Yep. And I'd like to
Yeah.
emphasize, folks, even if you miss the entry deadline and you're not playing any events and you're just coming to watch or visit our vendors or whatever the case may be, if you're staying at the Rio, use that code because you're going to beat the resort fees. You're going to get a better rate.
Yep.
So just want to let everybody know.
Well, there's always rumors. Oh, I got a room for $49. Yeah, you might if you're this
Yeah,
thing
one
and that
night
thing
and
one
then-
night. Then
and
you're gonna have to move again.
Then the next night you're at
It's-
150.
Because yeah, it's pretty bizarre what the room. It's like watching. I mean, it's up and down for the room rates in this town. I've seen rooms at the Hard Rock go from $49 to $349 because there's a concert that night.
right.
It's brutal.
Yep.
But it's the way it is. Supply and demand.
All right. Well, the next thing I want to get to, this is looking past the tournament for a bit. We do have our new 2014-2015 league posters
Cool.
that are done. First of all, we've got the BCA Pool League poster for the new league year, thanks to Justin. And I thought this came out terrific. This is the poster for the new league year. If you have a BCA Pool League, or if you're thinking about starting a BCA Pool League, or maybe you're a room owner and you just want to build interest and maybe have a league start in your room, let us know. We'll send you these posters absolutely free. It helps you, it helps us,
Sure.
and it's a great way to promote not only the BCA Pool League, but promote pool in general in
And-
your area.
And keep in mind, the BCA Pool League is a little unique from all the other leagues out there. There's no sanctioning fee or no franchise
Franchise
fee or
fee.
license fee or anything like that. You just have to send, we sanction any, we're a sanctioning body, not a governing body per se. And you can be playing 8-ball, 9-ball, you can play by any rules, any size tables. You just have to, when you come to the tournament, you have to play by our rules,
Yep.
And it's a very flexible system, and it's built that way. And it's $15 per year per player, and that's it.
Yep.
So,
And we have another league. It's a smaller league, newer league, but we want to put a focus on this league in the future. This is the USA Pool League. Completely different. This
Completely
is not a sanctioning body per se. This is a governed league.
yeah.
And this is all about fairness and fun, folks. So this is the new league poster for the new league year, which is what, June 1 through May 31.
Right, correct.
Okay, so we're just into our new league year. And Justin, you did a terrific job
Yeah,
on
those
this
look
poster.
good. Those look good.
And in fact, that went to print today. And same thing there, folks. If you're interested in USA Pool League in your area, call us. We'll send you the posters. We'll help you get off the ground.
And there are differences between the leagues. I mean, there's distinct differences. The BCA Pool League, we don't care what you do as far as whether you're a handicap league or scratch league or what game you play or 3-man, 4-man, 5-man teams. The USA Pool League, it is a nationally handicapped system. And you have to use our software, it's proprietary. The USA Pool League is match play, meaning you and I play to our whatever our games, but in USA Pool League it's by points. So if you're a 90 and I'm a 50, I play till I get 50 or you get 90. Whereas the BCA Pool League doesn't have to be, but 99% of them are round robin, meaning if there's 4 players, each person plays the other person one time. So they're structured different, and some places have both, and some places have none. So we're talking to you. So
Yep. Now we're on to the good stuff.
the good stuff.
This is our new segment, folks.
Oh,
If I had a drum, I'd do a drum
You're
roll.
a sick puppy.
And let me just say before we get to this segment,
Who is
how
B.
the-
Russell? I want to know who he
how,
is.
no. I want to tell everybody how this came about. Mark and I are on a league team together.
Oh yeah.
Dynamic duo.
We had our first play was.
And periodically, Mark will say things in the office that just make you do a double take. And most of the time, I fail to write these things down. But when he's in league with a beer in his hand, he gives me even more material to work with. So I grabbed a pen and I started writing.
You're going to make me the Yogi Berra of pool, aren't you?
You are. I'm not making you. You already are. So this new segment is called Griffinisms.
Lord.
And there's a.
It's just not fair. It's just not fair.
All right, so I've got 5 Griffinisms for you tonight. All right, so here's the setting. We're at League Monday night. The format is you play everybody on the other team 2 games, 1 game of 8-ball, 1 game of 9-ball. Mark's sitting in a chair with his Coors Light, I think it was. A guy breaks a 9-ball rack. The balls are scattering around the table. Mark looks over. My God, that guy made a ton of stripes.
Yeah. And that actually happened. You know, I just, what can I say? That was kind of funny. I even chuckled at that one.
Here's the second one that happened. Mark's playing. He shoots a ball and scratches. He jumps up and says, I hit that ball perfect.
I did. And, you know, it didn't just scratch. It kissed off a ball, kissed off. It had to go into a little cluster, clear at the other end of the table, hit it great. Just nipped off that ball, came off the rail, nipped off that ball, and fell in the pocket.
If you hit it perfect, you wouldn't have scratched.
Well, yeah, well, it's hard to say, but it did.
All right, the third one. This one he actually said in the office, but since I was writing at League, I remembered it and I jotted it down. Mark Griffin.
It's true.
I've always made just enough money to pay for all my mistakes.
Yeah. It's true. Barely sometimes. Barely. I've made some really big mistakes, too.
Here's another one I really liked. This was also in the office. Mark runs out of his office, and he looks excited. He looks like a little schoolgirl. And he says, I don't know how to make this make sense, so I'll just say it. I started writing that. And the last
You're just
one.
having too much fun,
This
aren't you?
is great. Yeah, and this is kind of a you had to be there kind of thing for some of these. But the last one, this was in League, and I don't even know what we were talking about. I just focused on the statement. I may not have fixed the problem, but I did double it.
Okay.
So there's Griffinisms.
Yeah.
I'm sure by August I'll have a lot more.
I still got the best one of all time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Justin. I like this one.
Mark calls me up one day and I answer the phone. He goes, I just called to tell you I don't have time to talk. I'll talk to you later.
Well, you know,
Best
we
one
love you,
ever.
man.
Best one ever. I'll tell that story forever. Thank you for providing it.
It's that good, huh? Wow.
All right. Well, we've got 17 minutes left. Plenty of time to talk about some questions from AZ Billiards.
Sure.
You want to take it? You want me?
Well, I'll take the first one. I mean,
Go for it.
you typing them up, I can read them, I think. Bella Don't Cry. With the recent and ongoing success of the World 9-Ball Championship live streaming courtesy of Kazum, and given the successes of CSI's live hotel stream of its BCA Pool League finals, will CSI be making future strides to offer a free worldwide live stream for the BCAPL finals in the future? Probably not. We did do live the first year that Justin really got into it, and we had pretty good numbers. When we did the 10-ball, it was probably about 09 or 010. 010. How about 2010? Anyhow, we just don't have the bankroll to fund it. It's really a user fee, and it's unfortunate, but there's a lot of costs involved in equipment and personnel and everything else. Kazum is in a unique position, and they've been doing this for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. They have a very large investor who loves pool, and he's invested a ton of money, and they run at a deficit, a pretty serious one, I think, every year, trying to build a model that's sustainable. And there has to be a subscription model. Justin and I, we talked about it. There just isn't enough material to do a subscription model in the U.S., and there's just not enough people that'll subscribe. And if anybody says, why do these things fail? There's just not enough people willing to write a check or use their credit card. The numbers are so sparse. As I was saying earlier, Kazum had great numbers for this event. And a tremendous, I mean, we all say this is awesome what they're doing. cameras and everything on every table, chat on every table, and you can just push a button and you change. They had 12,500 people across the world. I mean, if you got $100 each, I'm not even sure if that would pay the nut. It's just it's a tough, and it's really unfortunate, and I really wish there was a better answer. I met with some friends of mine. I don't know if you know Peg Ledman. She was a national champion years ago. She used to run the women's tour, and we talked about the women's tour a little bit, or lack of women's tour. And see, they've been relegated to the internet channel on ESPN, which is just death. If you're not on TV, because people will find you by accident. If you're on the internet, they have to be looking for you, and that's just a different dynamic. And it's tough, and I wish there was an answer. I still don't see the answer. I just don't. And Justin busted his butt, and it's one of the reasons why the TAR Studio will be no more. This is the last event that will be taking place at the TAR Studio. We will still be having podcasts. They'll be done out of our office, and Justin will be coordinating that and everything. And we'll still be doing, like at the U.S. Bar Table and the championships, but they're single events rather than a series of events.
Well, we'll be doing lots of stuff in the future. It just probably, unless something changes, it won't be the traditional TAR model that was attempted.
Right. Yeah, agreed.
Yep.
So to answer your question, I don't see us making future strides to offer free worldwide streaming of the BCAPL finals. If we were to do so, we've offered free days as a teaser. This year's a little different because we have 2 major events and 3 challenge matches and everything. So every year's an experiment. We've got to see what'll work and what'll get the job done for the least amount of pain for everybody. So appreciate the question. If you want us to do it for free, just write us a big old check, and we'll do it for free.
Then it's no longer free.
Yeah. So.
Why don't you take the second one, because I'm taking the third one.
All right. Straight pool IU. Okay. Oh, just pool U. Really? It's 2. No, it isn't. Comments on asking to have the cue ball clean. Oh, yeah. I think SJM addressed this pretty well in the threads on the AZ Billiards. And I didn't see it, but Carl Boys, people were saying, I quit counting at 15. Had the cue ball cleaned in one match over 15 times.
Wow.
We were addressing that in our office. It's not going to occur at our event. There aren't any standards on it, and they were using the meso ball. We originally were going to use the meso ball. We have elected to use the cyclop ball, and it doesn't mark up as like the meso ball does. And there's controversies on both. I've never been a fan of the meso ball. I feel it plays heavy. It isn't really heavy, but it's a touch heavier. And these guys, listen, when a ball weighs 166 grams or 165 grams, ain't no living human going to tell the difference on how the ball reacts. I don't know where some of these guys get this stuff, but they read in too many books, okay? But
it's funny, we were talking in the office about cleaning the cue ball.
Yeah.
So what should our standard be at the tournament?
Yeah. Now, you said they should clean every rack, and I said, well, we're having a...
No. I said the only time it should ever be cleaned is between racks.
Okay. And this will be cleaned because we're using a ref to rack the balls because it's a one-table event. It's different than when you have 16 tables or whatever. And the ref will have the gloves, and he'll wipe the ball down in between. I personally think that the players should have the option of having the ball cleaned at least once a game, not to exceed twice a game, but it can't be at their whim. There has to be, there has to be like there's a hair or there's a this or that. It can't be a ploy to hope the ref puts it down a fraction off and you now have a shot. So.
Not only that, but I've seen players use that as a means to just slow the game down. Maybe they're jittery and they want to buy some time. So.
Yeah, and basically SGM said, thank goodness the 2 people that have used this most are out, and it's Corey Toole and Carl Boys. Listen, I'm just reading what was said. It's not me personally. I hate moves like that, though.
Yep.
And pool is so slow and so hard to watch. We've got to do things to make it more exciting, which I think is what the alternating break format is really designed to do. Although I think a lot of people like to see packs, run a 6-pack or an 8-pack. But that's.
By the way, speaking of exciting, I'm going to compliment you on something.
Was I exciting?
Monday night in Pool League, folks. Mark Griffin, he was actually playing a real match, but you could tell
You've never seen me hit a ball before either, had you?
You could tell he just didn't care at that point. But Tang Ho, who most people will know who he is, I was going to say former pro player. I don't know if that's appropriate or not. He plays good.
Yeah, he plays good.
I think he got second in the US Open.
He did real well a few years back. Yeah, he was a monster.
But he was sitting at the bar watching Mark play his last game, and Mark got dead straight on a ball right on the rail,
yep.
and his next shot was at the other end of the table. And Mark says, "Oh, I can get the ball back up there. This is easy."
I know this shot, but I had to think about it because I haven't shot it in about 5 years.
And he got down and shot it. And I got to say, that was a great shot.
I had 10 players saying, "How'd you do that?" Tang stood up, says, "What?"
And Tang came up to Mark after the game and asked him, "Can you show me that shot?"
Yep.
So, hats off to you, sir. Nice shot.
I made a great shot. I hit it
wouldn't
perfect,
even-
but I got burned. No, I did. I bumped into a ball, and I still got screwed. But that's okay. It's social to me. I don't really care. I try my best, but I didn't play that well. But that was the first time I hit a ball in like 2 months.
None of us played well.
Well, no, we got clobbered. But our handicaps went up. Yes.
That's
Oh,
great,
you're a
Mark.
sandbagger.
You're promoting sandbagging. That's great, Mark.
No, I tried to win. It's just I was incapable.
All right, this next one from AZ Billiards might be my favorite post ever.
I want to know if this is B. Russell, is Brian Russell, because there's a Brian Russell, free plug for this one, that owns Focused Apparel out of New York that was one of our exhibitors last year. Which, by the way, not to change the subject, but I do that anyhow. We're out of booths. We're full for exhibitors. We've got like, I think it's 49 different exhibitors. So if you need anything in the way of pool or lessons or clothing or cue sticks or whatever's, come to Vegas.
It's going to be there.
Yep.
B. Russell on AZ Billiards. We asked for comments on AZ Billiards. If you want anything addressed, you want us to talk about something, you post on the thread and perhaps we'll get to it. He says, how about a CSI Podcast drinking game? Drink when any of the following occurs. Any mention of Ozzy's head. Bonus drink if it's compared to a cue ball.
Well, we are using the Cyclops. I mean, so it's closer.
You could draw that. It's a little Sharpie. Drink when Ozzy says he's being nice to Mark. I haven't said that tonight.
Good.
I've just done it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Drink if a Chinese name comes up and Mark says it both first name, last name, and last name, first name. Example, Ko Pinyi or Pinyi Ko.
I don't know which one it is. I'm just trying to help you out.
And this is my favorite. Drink if Mark complains about something someone said on the internet and tells people to call him. Bonus drink if he uses these exact words. Pick up the damn phone.
And I'm serious. If you've got something to talk about, pick up the damn phone. That's what we're there for,
You want to take this last one? Or you
Is this another one?
Yeah,
this is
one
from
more.
the same guy.
No.
Yeah, straight pool you.
Oh,
IU.
okay.
What is your opinion and ideal race length for large professional level 9 or 10 ball tournaments like the World Championships? Some folks, and I personally disagree with this, have been suggesting that even a race to 9, 11, or 13 is too short. Shouldn't longer races than that be preserved for challenge matches only? Good debate. I'd be in favor. If somebody say what is the perfect format for high-level matches, I'd probably do races to 7, 2 out of 3 races, time allowed 3 out of 5 races, and I'd do them winter breaks.
You and I don't agree on that.
Well, I don't expect to agree with you. I mean, you're from the East Coast and you got no hair. I mean, what do you want?
What it all boils down to is what are you trying to do with this specific event?
Yeah.
If you're catering to the viewer, for example, if you're in a TV market, it's going to be much, much different than if you're in an internet market.
Yep.
And that'll be much, much different if you're trying to cater to the player. So what are you trying to do with your event?
Well, first of all, you're not supposed to cater to the player because you can have players and be a dead sport, but if you need to have viewers and spectators and fans.
Well,
so that's the primary focus.
And I think far too long, and both of you might disagree with me, but I think far too long, at least in this country, there's been a much greater focus on catering to what the players want versus what is it going to take to get viewers.
I'm going to agree with you, and they've made some errors.
Some big ones, in my opinion.
Yep.
Some of these long matches, you could argue that the viewer gets more for his or her money, but in my opinion, there's not a whole lot of excitement in that.
You're talking the challenge matches or tournament matches?
No, I'm
See,
talking
there's
about
a difference.
pulling
Yeah,
general.
because-
I'm talking about tournament matches.
Yeah.
Really, because
I don't know the longest tournament I've ever seen. We ran to 13 for the finals. Maybe 50, I don't know. It gets pretty long.
you know, I'll equate it to this, and this is just a sample size of one. This is me, but take NBA basketball, for example. I know that a lot of people go nuts over basketball from opening game all the way through the season. But for a lot of folks like me, I can't get into it until it's playoff time, or if it's close to playoff time, because when there's 100 games
You
or
can't identify
150
who's
games, it's the
whom,
same thing with baseball. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Who cares if they lose or win? When you get further down into the season, it starts to matter.
It means something.
It really matters. And I think it's similar to long and short races. If you got a race to 100, I mean, the last day I'll pick up, but
I totally agree. Race to 100 is, but that's a gambling
well,
match.
I'm
That's-
using an extreme example, but
Yeah.
even in a tournament where you have a race to 13, in my opinion, that's way too long. Way too long.
Really?
I do. I think it's way too long.
Single or double?
Well, double elimination, single elimination is tough. I like double elimination because a guy can stumble and he can recover.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, a race to 13 is just too brutally long for a bunch of reasons. One, your viewer, you can't retain a viewer that long.
Yep.
Not unless he's just a nut. Two, fatigue on the players. They might disagree with that, but if you grind out races to 13 all day long and all night long,
You're worn out.
that's tough. Third, the tournament takes too long. Tournaments cost money to run.
Sure.
The longer they run, the more money
More
it costs.
hotel room nights for the players themselves, too. Yeah.
Yep. So to me, that's way too long for a tournament format. You both will probably disagree with me, but for a double elimination tournament, 9-ball, 10-ball, 8-ball, whatever the case may be, personally, 7.
Too short.
Too short. With the
More-
power that you
more
have now,
exciting.
well, see, that's why I went to winter breaks on mine. Race to 7, multiple races. You could even go races to 5. What I want to do is I almost want to equate it to tennis, where you have to break the other guy's serve. You could even go extreme and say races to 3. I get to break the first game, winner breaks. I might run my serve.
You know why I
work-
don't-
and you actually point it that way.
You know why I don't like the comparison to tennis, though? Because you can physically break the other person's serve. In pool, you cannot. You sit there until he stumbles or something bad happens.
No, you get to shoot.
I sort of equate it to a game like, I don't know. Football's not a good comparison either, but winter breaks to me is probably more exciting for the viewer. You can see packages.
I agree.
However, think of if every sport, if you scored, you got another opportunity to score and another opportunity to score, and the other team's defense was on the field the whole game.
Volleyball.
Tennis.
You can score
not
points
seen.
at any time with tennis.
But you serve. If you were to serve aces, you win your point. Then it rotates to the other guy's serve. That's why you do multiple shorter sets, and maybe 7's too long. But 3 out of 5 races, 2 out of 3 rather. 3 out of 5 would be too long for 7, but it wouldn't be too long for 5 or 4.
Single elimination tournaments race to 21.
See,
16-man fields.
yeah. I have mixed emotions about single elimination.
But you know what?
Unless you do them after you come out of a round robin
Hey,
situation.
the problem ain't the formats, man.
You're probably right.
Every format on earth has been tried.
Yeah.
ESPN went to sudden death 7-ball. And if you're a believer in them, got to make it fast, got to make it quick to keep people's attention, there ain't nothing faster or quicker than that.
Yeah.
Even speed pool didn't do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It ain't the formats, man.
No, and we're not saying that the whole problem with pool is the format, but as far as ideal match length, you know what? Every day that goes by in this technology age, people's attention span gets shorter
and shorter. Oh, we all agree with that.
And
But somehow there's got to be something. And the other thing is, I mean, you can make it more exciting to watch, but really, they need to develop the characters of the players, enhance them, do little video clips on how the guy stuffed his fist through the wall, or did this great thing and he's friendly, or did this something. Give him some, like, I mean, John McEnroe was known as the bad boy. He's famous. Ilya Nastasi or something, or whatever his name. Some of those guys,
So we need more Earls.
to a degree, but not as extreme. You can't be disrespectful, because then you get sanctioned and you wouldn't be playing. They have to put some rules and standards and enforce them. Earl is exciting to watch. He's just a little too far out there. He's disrespectful. There's a difference between passion and disrespect, even though they overlap.
Well, you know, the problem, the industry's too small. Even as well known as Earl Strickland is, walk out on the streets and ask pick 20 people out of the crowd and ask them who Earl Strickland is.
But ask him who Minnesota Fats was.
In a movie.
No, there's a lot of people actually know who he was. Maybe not now because now he's
Minnesota Fats was on television when there was only 3 channels on.
correct. Oh, and they had that huge thing, and now the generation's getting the best of it because the kids don't know because it's this whole we've got a lost generation or two in the pool world. So I don't know. A pool's never going to go away. Is it going to be a mainstream sport? I just don't think so, folks.
Well, I don't know. Right now, it's certainly a participative sport.
Yeah.
Not a viewership sport.
Yeah.
One day, could that change? Sure, it could.
Sure.
But it's not going to change doing the same things that's been done for the last 50 years.
Yep, I agree. So what are we going to do, Big Daddy?
Well, I've got the answer, but I'm not telling you till you leave.
I can leave now. I mean, do I get a tip if I leave early?
You're not going to take credit for my great ideas.
What? I hope not. Jeez. See what I got to put up with? You guys are going to have to put up with him, too. I'll be around. I'm going to change my phone number. You'll have to have a secret code so it won't be pick up the damn phone anymore. You have to call Justin, and Justin has to answer his phone, and then he has to forward it to me. So you have a couple of obstacles.
Good luck with that one.
Fewer people will be calling if they have to be screened by Justin.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably won't get too many second-time callers.
Okay, man. Anyhow, I don't have a whole lot more to go over. I just want to encourage everybody to come out and join us in July, either physically or through the pay-per-view. There's going to be some great matches. This is a new format, the 16-man invitational. I think it's getting traction. Jay Helfert's doing one in front of us next year. Mm-hmm. It's just the 96-man field are just, you can't wrestle with them.
Yep. I want to say a couple things before we depart tonight. First, a couple more selfish plugs. We do have the BCA Pool League Southwest Regional. Dates are confirmed, August 28th through September 1st.
Correct.
That's in Phoenix,
Yep,
Arizona.
Fort McDowell.
Fort McDowell.
Yep. This will be the 4th year, I believe. Yeah, 5th
Yep.
year. It's a good little event.
It's confirmed. It's on
it's
the
a regional, so you can come from anywhere in the country.
Yep. It's on playbca.com. I'll be there for that one. Also, we've got dates and venue nailed down for 2015 U.S. Bar Table Championships.
Yes.
That'll be in the same location, Grand Sierra Resort in Reno, Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
Dates, I don't remember, but they're on Play CSI Pool.
It starts on the, let's see, we move in, I think it's the 16th is a Monday, and it goes through the 22nd. It starts that Monday, which is right after Valentine's Day. And
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're pushing along, folks. We're going to do some good things. The last thing I want to say, I want to compliment Justin on the work that he's done with us so far. It is great to have a guy you can just call up and email, and you need something right away, and boom, it's done. So, Justin, thank you. Great job, and I think the things on the websites and the graphics that people see, it's going to pay off.
And don't forget, we've got our YouTube page that Justin's still populating. I know some people are asking for some of the matches off of our last, like the U.S. Open 1 pockets and 10 balls. There's just a lot of work that still has to be done, and Justin will get those up as we can. There's some issues with some of them. We'll do the best we can to get them up because we all want that stuff saved. And I'm going to miss. We tried something really interesting here with the Tar Studio, and it worked for a while, and just a lot of obstacles that were out of our control. We gave it the old college try, and I think we had some awesome matches and just awesome pool. And it's just unfortunate that, it wasn't awesome enough because otherwise more people would have subscribed to it. It's just a supply and demand. The marketplace dictated, and we built a better mousetrap, and damn it, the mice went away. So
I think it'll be looked back on as an interesting era. That was 3 years where, if you look at the matches that we did here,
they're off the charts.
Yeah, they're
well, we did 39 of them, right?
39 total.
And the first one was Corey
21.
and Shane.
The first one was Corey and Shane.
07 or 08?
07.
Yeah.
Well, guys, sometimes things are done and things are tried that they may seem like a failure. It may even seem insignificant at the time, but when viewed through the lens of history, it could be a pathway.
We may be back again.
You carve a path to something bigger and better. So I certainly commend both of you. I wasn't here, but for the things that you guys put together, I thought was incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible, and nobody had done those types of things before.
Yeah. Well, Justin was the brains behind it, and he. But we had some great matches. Some of that Efren stuff is just that's going to be, and Efren is pushing 60 years old.
Well, not only Efren, but think about this. I mean, it's kind of Tar and Shane have made their rise together.
Yeah.
And it was. I'd say you'd be hard pressed to find any other great player that has had his career as well documented as Shane has.
That's very true.
And the way I look at it is 30 years from now, if you go dig on the Tar YouTube channel, there's interviews with Shane from 2007 before he won anything. And it's that kind of thing to me is fascinating when from before this guy ever won anything until now, I mean, you can go out there and it's all there.
Yeah.
And I think that's the first time. Imagine if you had that for Mosconi.
Oh man.
Or any other
even
great
Earl.
player, or Earl or Archer,
Yeah.
Any of them. And
Well,
so to me, that's the thing that I'm most proud of is the fact that 20 years from now, this stuff will still be around on the internet,
Yeah.
and people will be able to find it.
And I think it really it speaks good for what we tried to do. And it speaks good for the game, and it shows there's a new generation. The Johnny Archers and those guys are just about their careers are just about done. You've got the Justin Halls, the Justin Bergman, or the Jason Hall. No, Justin Hall.
Justin Hall.
The Skylar Woodward is just pounding up on people, and there's a bunch of young kids, and really, this industry missed a whole generation. There have been 10 times as many. So we keep on trucking. We keep supporting the juniors events, and that's the future. So.
Hey, but hey, this might have sounded like an obituary for Tar.
Oh no.
Not in at least.
It's a step.
We've got lots of great things that are going to be coming up. And,
That's true.
I'm excited, especially, like I told you earlier, Mark was bragging about how he was cleaning his office out. I said, get it out of here before the end of July. We're just lighting a match.
You'd have to call 3 fire departments.
And what did you say?
I don't remember.
You said, well, can I stay in it when you light it?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. See?
What are you going to do, Mark?
I'm gonna come
What's your
haunt
plans?
you. I plan on being at the office like 1.5 days a week. And
Walmart greeter, the other 4. Yeah.
You know what this is going to sound so stupid. I would like to be a blackjack dealer. I think that would be such fun. Wouldn't that be fun? They can't tell me to quit. I mean, the dealer, the customers, they can't complain.
I would come play at your table just so I would get some more Griffinisms for the next podcast.
I just think that would be fun. Why not?
You can always go to the Derby and deal up in a hotel room to your heart's content.
There you go.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah. All right. Listen, I think we're about wrapping it up. The next podcast is going to be after our tournament. We're out of the 20s. Do you have a date?
No, it'll be the first Thursday in August, but we'll make plenty of announcements.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, tune in. Hope you can come out and see us in Rio and play pool. Play more pool.
Good night, folks.
Yep. Good night. Thank you.